What's up? Welcome to another Woodvice video. In this video, we are making this. I have no idea what it's actually gonna end up being. I don't know if it's next to me or just full screen, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's gonna be out of white oak. It is leftover. Wow, that's a really bad board. I'm going to build a oval coffee table. Other than it being oval and it being shorter, I have no idea what it looks like. I've been thinking about different leg options. Is it like two little like tripod things on both ends? Is it tambour? I know that's pretty cool. Maybe I should try tambour. One pedestal base in the middle. Is it two? Is it three? I don't know. Just come on this journey. Let's just figure out what I'm gonna make. Today, I'm gonna start with just the general milling process, obviously. Gluing up a panel, jointing, planing. I'm gonna use the CNC to flatten it all. Let's get started. It's raining tacos, out of the sky tacos. No need to ask why. I love tacos. Let's not use that board though. It's a little wonky. Okay, so I've got my, let's see, there's 5 pieces here. Turns out my shape doesn't really want to be oval. I don't know if that's me speaking or just what came out of my drawing here, but it's more of just like a ovally, I don't even know, organic shape. I really quite like what's going on though. I might even make it a little bit more organic. Needless to say, I believe this is gonna be my setup here. These 3 interior are a little bit darker of a white oak, maybe? And maybe that's the sapwood talking. I've not worked with white oak enough to know, you know, the heartwood versus the sapwood, but I can't imagine all of this is sap. But I do see some sap in here where it's just way lighter. Well, it's fine. I don't mind character. And what I finish this with in the end, maybe that's gonna take some of that away anyway. So I'm gonna go with this. This is my setup. I'm gonna mark them. Right here, I already like this board right here. It's a pretty long board, but then it starts to get really wonky. And it actually ends right here. So this is really flat stuff. So I kind of just went along on some of these where I knew like, okay, I don't really want that knot, even though it's kind of cool. There's some bug stuff going on right here, so I kind of just take some of those things out that I just don't want in and then rearrange. So now I know like this is it. And I could probably just say, okay, right at the end of this, here's the line to cut on all of them if I wanted to just keep it nice and clean. And then that way when I took it to the CNC, it was already a square panel glued up. Because I'm not going to do any planing on these boards. I'm going to glue them up as they are on the faces because they're all the same thickness, about 15/16, 4/4 general. Skip planed, some people call it. And so that's fine. And I don't have a planer this wide, but I have something that can flatten this wide, so that's what I'm gonna use. That way I don't have to think about glue lines and stuff like that. And I don't have to plane them to a thinner thickness and then go over there and do whatever. Yeah, it worked out well on my last table, which I did not do a full video on, sadly, but I will get back to that table. I do want to build another one of those in something like white oak, and I will bring you guys along because that is a really cool table and I'm very proud of it. But this is going to be a cool coffee table and I'm proud of that already, even though I'm early stages. Anyway, let's move on because this video cannot be that long, really, honestly. Like keep them short and sweet. I don't know, do you guys like time lapses? Let's just do a time lapse. Jointing and then gluing it up. And then I'll probably go to bed after that. Let's be honest. Maybe I'll do a voiceover of all my funniest jokes. Probably not. I think we will stick to not those funny jokes. Another thing about this project that I'm gonna try is tracking my hours. Now, maybe that's crazy, I don't know, because then I really actually know how long it takes me to make something. But if I'm gonna do this more often, and if I'm gonna do this for a client, which this project's at the moment not part of a client, which makes it fun. But if this is gonna be something I do for clients, I think I need to get better at efficiently working and tracking my hours so that over time I get better at not underestimating my work for clients. And some of that is tracking hours. So what I just did, not including going to get the boards, but laying out the boards, figuring out which ones I want to use for just the top, milling them on the jointer, and gluing them up. So far, that took me 1 hour. I started about 8:45. I was done at 9:45. Okay, I think that's a good amount. So, 1 hour. Cha-ching! And while that's gluing up, I'm just gonna sit and figure out what the base looks like. So, when I come back, we're gonna talk about the base. What does that look like, and what do I need to mill up to create the base? Okay, so I have done some thinking, and this has just been in the last half hour. I've got a few things on the whiteboard, not loving those, but then I came up with an idea. It's hard to draw in 3D. I'm not good at 3D renderings. So this is what I came up with. I don't know if you can see that. This is one piece, and this will be perpendicular to it, but that big shape is gonna get cut out. That big shape is gonna get cut out, and I think it should be interesting. This is totally a concept, so maybe in the end, this is gonna be like a horrible idea, but don't know until you try, so let's try. And then maybe tomorrow, I'll actually cut it out. So I'm gonna glue them up today, cut them out tomorrow. Okay, so I just ran 2 passes, I don't know, 30 seconds on each. Hard to gauge, I just did it manually. And this is one side. Look at that. Glue line, perfect. Okay, so I was getting some burn marks like here and here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but is the blade getting dull? What's going on? So I decided to increase my speed as well as my RPMs because I think it was just sitting on them too long and spinning in the same spot. And so I think that's what was causing the burn marks. You can see if I stop for a second, you can see a circular burn mark, and that's the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out my speeds and feeds, and in this case it's me feeding it because I just don't want to program a thing for this. Oh, and for reference, I'm going at 16,000 RPMs and about 300 inches per minute. Okay, so that pass took about, let's see, 13 minutes from start to finish. So if we did 2 passes on the last one, this pass, let's call it 15 minutes apiece, give or take, so roughly 45 minutes to flatten 2 pieces of this tabletop. So yeah, I think that's probably the savings versus doing all the planing ahead of time, which is probably with all that lumber, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boards running through the planer, a little bit at a time, white oak, so probably have to change the blades. I mean, that's probably close to an hour just by itself, just for planing both sides of each board. And then coming over to the glue up and doing some dominoes, probably for an alignment situation. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop down below if you would do this, or if you would plane them ahead of time and just do a super great job at glue up, or use dominoes, dowels, whatever for alignment. Is this the best way? Is this efficient? Again, with time tracking, this took me, let's call it an hour. So now I'm up to what, 2.5 hours last night, an hour now, so 3.5 hours. I've got 2 pieces ready. They're really my only 2 pieces. I'm gonna cut this piece for the legs, which I've shown you already, and then that piece is the top, so I'll cut that odd organic shape out. Probably a straight cut, and then I'll do some routing to round it over. So, I mean, as far as getting the pieces ready, we're pretty close. Let's set this up for the cut of the leg base system. Okay, all right, so we got my shapes here that we did last night. I just did a 1/4 inch bit on the outside of all those lines, as you maybe can see, and it shows the direction. Here's the 3D view, and if we do a preview all toolpaths, this is what it looks like. So that is what it will do, and then if I double click here on all these pieces that will come out, those are the 2 pieces that I want to create my base that has that perpendicular, this piece into this piece, perpendicular. So let's get this cut out. Choose my bit up here, 1/4 inch end mill bit. That's what I was using. 2.5 inch flattening bit. Bit changed. So I just cut the top, and I didn't even tell you about it. Sorry. I just literally drew it on the computer, pushed go, like while the spindle was warming up. I did the drawing on the computer for just a random organic shape, and that's what we got. So let's check it out. Oh no, it didn't go all the way through, like at all. That's not good. Guess I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. Looks like I'm getting the jigsaw out. Now we can see it. Organic shape. Festool domino time. First time I've used this on a project. So let's try it out. What have I got to lose here? All right. Marking my middle on both of these pieces. I think probably just 1 domino. Yep, so 12 on that one. A fence to line up to. I like that idea. The great thing is you get 1 chance for this. I think it's gonna be good though. Yeah. Okay, well, got those 2. That's the right side. I didn't even think about that. I guess it doesn't really matter. Now, same with these. I guess I could just do one of these dealies. Line this up and mark the center. Clamp this puppy down. Turn this over to 90. All right, will it fit? Gotta go find some dominoes. Beauty! That's the gist of it. With a couple clamps, that's gonna be right on. What do we think? I think I made it a little bit too thin on the bottom. So I think I'm going to either remake the bottom parts or, I don't know. I mean, not that anything's glued up, but it does seem like it has quite a bit of flex. I don't know if that could hold me or not. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to remake this bottom to be just thicker, stronger, beefier. This is literally just 2 floating dominoes, not glued at all, not screwed. I'm not gonna screw them anyway, but there's just not much glue surface there to like really bond the connection. In the next one, maybe if it's thicker, then I'll even dado out. Maybe that would be the better play. But let's do a standing test. Is it gonna be a complete fail? Am I gonna ruin the top? I hope not. Okay, well, now if I like twist it at all, it's going down. I don't think that's the way to go. So I will be making some new bottom pieces. It's been a few days, I'm back. I did that test like you saw, and I think I've got a solution to beef up the base. Now, normally I would just go to the lumber store, the hardwood store, and just buy, what, 8/4 lumber, right? Or even 6/4 would probably be enough. I don't really want to do that. This is lumber that I had sitting around from a different project, and so this is what I'm doing. All these pieces are horizontal grain, and so what I'm going to do to strengthen it even more, just so that it doesn't just snap right here, is orient the piece that I add to this the other way. So I'm going to orient them this way. You can see this runs long ways, and this is, so basically just perpendicular. So 1/2 is gonna look vertical, and the other half, if you look on the other side, is gonna be horizontal. Which, in the end, I mean, that's not a bad thing. That's cool, right? And so, That's the route I'm going. I have these 3 pieces. They're all 3 like about 5 foot, and it's just enough to do the project, I think. I've got these pieces. You'll see what I mean in literally 1 second. It's been 1 second, and I still don't see it, but that's because I'm the one doing it and you're the one watching. And there you have it. It's doubled up, it's cross-laminated. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is find the center of this and then dado out this section here and here. Check this out. That is what I'm talking about right there. Looks so good. All right, guys, this is the time tracking check-in. So far, I'm at about 8 hours. That's to this point right here where it's doubled up, the top is there. Now, I probably wasted 3 hours just on doubling the base up like we talked about. So there is that, but hindsight's 20/20. There is sanding on some things, so I think overall, I'm sitting pretty good. 8 hours at this point. Let's say 4 more total? 12 total? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Keep watching. All right, so the sanding is done. I've got the base all sanded up to 120. The top is all sanded up to 120. Got my Rubio monochrome mixed 3:1. Now we just put it on. Time lapse, I suppose, right? Because it'd be really boring to watch me do this for the next 20 minutes. I guess maybe you'd want that. I don't know. Do you? No, you don't. Okay. All right. This has been finished with Rubio. It is now a few days later because I was waiting for my figure 8 clips and the threaded inserts that I'm going to use to attach this base to the top. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch. So there's a little bit of play. I'm going to be recessing this, so that's kind of the look. You can see where the play is a little bit. I'm just going to recess it just that deep, so not very far. Just enough to where that sits nice and flush. Yep, just like that. So I'm going to go around and do that to all the pieces, and I don't want them to not be tight, so I'm hand tightening, especially on this end grain. Those feel nice and strong. I like that. All right, moment of truth. Does it line up? Seems to. Nice. All right. But I think it's a good method, and if it does need to come apart, it's easy with just one tool. Let's talk time tracking now. I left the door open. Hold on. Okay, so time tracking. With the 1/2 hour to attach the base, it took me about 14 hours. Now, I would say probably 3-ish hours was me redoing the base to glue pieces together and thicken that base up, which was absolutely the best call. I think I could probably make this table in about 8 to 10 hours. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how quickly it came together. I'm very happy of how it came together as a whole. It's also a piece of furniture that not many people could build as easily just without the CNC that I have. So I recognize that, and while it could be done with a jigsaw and it would be just fine, and it probably wouldn't take much more time, it's just a little bit more work that direction for sure. All right, guys, well, I would love to know what you think. I think the way that I can grow as a content creator and the way that I can grow as a furniture builder is to hear from you. Let me know. What do you think? Is this a style that's just not really a thing? Is it in style? Is it trendy? Just drop a comment below and just let me know. Let's talk about it. Oh yeah, we need to stand on it and do that test. It's a finished work, so I can't step on it without shoes on. I think it's just fine. No one's gonna stand on the coffee table, right? Unless they're like 3 years old. Okay, fast forward 3 months, maybe? It's been a while, but here's the situation. I finished that video, I stood on it, it was great. I took it up to my living room to do some final shots of it, and it was not so great. It went on a carpet, which most of the time in a living room you might have it on a carpet. It was pretty tipsy. And so I ended up putting this piece here on there It looks okay. I'm not 100% convinced that it's the best thing, but for the solution that I needed, it works just great. Now, this table is for sale. It's been for sale for a while, and I don't know if it's gonna sell. It's just it was an experiment. It looks really cool. To me, would it be in my house? Probably not. I mean, it's not really the style of my wife and I's furniture, and so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. If for some reason you're watching this and you're like, man, I really want that, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Maybe I can ship it somewhere. I've never done that before, but there's nothing stopping me now. I think the biggest thing that I learned on this project was to be creative, be fun. I had a lot of fun. This was a project that I just came up out of nowhere, and quite honestly, it was a lot of fun to make. Now, I tracked my hours, and then with this added little piece, it ended up probably being closer to like 15 or 16. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me. Leave a comment below if you want to. Give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.